So here is my presentation on the game I've made in Roblox 2, my final project. So my idea for my final project was inspired by element combination games such as Little Alchemy and Doodle God. In these games, you start off with 4 basic elements: water, air, fire, and earth, and you combine them to make more and more elements. You can combine them to make pretty advanced things such as like humans. So what I learned and used for my project, I learned about server, client, and raycasting. So server and client is how the server and the client or the player interact with each other. So I learned how to use things such as remote functions and remote events. That's how the server and the client can interact with each other. And I also learned raycasting, which is sending off rays and detecting what the rays touch. So that was helpful for how I placed my blocks down. For example, that was where I used raycasting. So here I have 2 examples of my code. In the first one, I used raycasting to detect if the mouse is pointing at anything and to place a part at where it's pointing. And in the second code, this is server and client. This is how the server and the player interact to place a block down and detect if 2 parts can be combined to each other. So here we can look at a demo of my game. So at first, you start off with the 4 basic elements: air, earth, fire, and water. And you can select one of these by clicking on its button. And to place it down, you can look at anywhere you wanna place it down and left click to place the block down. And to combine 2 elements, you just have to place one element on top of another. In this case, earth and water combine to make mud. Let's try another example. Let's try another combination. Let's see what we'll get if we combine air and fire. And we got smoke. And we can also pick these up too. Let's try water and fire. And we see that we've got steam. All right. Let's try earth and fire. And we've got lava. Let's try combining something else to lava, which we just made, such as water. And combining lava and water would make obsidian. So you can make more elements based off of the elements that you've already made. And if you see down here, you can select the categories, which show you elements based on the category that you chose. So for example, if I clicked on the air tab, the air category, it shows air, smoke, and steam, which are all related to air. And same with earth, fire, and water. So this is the end of the demo. So the favorite part about working on my project was, well, when things finally worked, undoubtedly. So for example, when I finally figured out how raycasting worked, how I could implement it into my code, and how I made it work, as well as placing elements down. So if I were to continue on this project, I would first make a tutorial so players would know first off what to do when they first join the game. And I would also add hints so that if players get stuck, they would be able to not they would be able to get unstuck, and they will be able to progress in the game. And I would also add music and sound effects so that the game is more immersive, and I might add multiplayer so that more than one person can play with each other at a time. So that is my presentation. Thank you for listening.